Okay, welcome everyone. So since we're now complete, let's begin with our final presentation. Thanks for taking the time. And as many of you might know, our BoostEuroTeQ project is coming to an end this August, and it's been a long journey so far. Unfortunately, my colleague Lisa, who is in a project lead, has like technical issues, so I will start right now, and hopefully she will join us later again. And our agenda today is like to present you the final results, give you a quick overview about the most crucial things, and then we have some breakout sessions where you are going to deep dive on two topics. First topic would be lifelong learning, and the second topic is the co-creation aspect, which also deals with the different work packages. Okay. So just to do a little recap, BoostEuroTeQ was a sub-project of the EuroTeQ Engineering University Alliance project, and it's also this participating university are also the same ones being in the EuroTeQ project. It has received funding from the European Union's Horizon 2020 research funding. So different funding aspects, more research oriented than the other project. And so let's look about the objectives now. BoostEuroTeQ was actually founded to strengthen the EuroTeQ University roles as a change maker to introduce a paradigm shift in the engineering education of the future. First objective. The second was to understand the differences, unique features, and best practices across the continent in terms of value creation processes and technology. And the third objective was to develop a level of collaboration that works as a catalyst for understanding society better and to ultimately create findings that will be transferable to other university networks across Europe. Okay, so let's see. To make it more concrete, on the left side, you had this individual aspect about lifelong learning aspects and the development of upskilling strategies and also learning professional development. We will come to that later. And on the right side, you see the societal transformation aspect, which deals more with research-oriented questions about the role of universities, about different teaching methods, about values like responsibilism and co-creation and teaching research, and to actually look at universities as a whole from a social science perspective as well, and reflect on different processes within and between universities. And yeah, to make it more concrete, this was actually our setup. So we worked in 8 different work packages. And as you see in the top, we had executive management. Then we had work package 2, the learning professional, and 3, the upskilling strategy, which deals more with the professional education aspect. And on the right side, you see the different ones, naming the societal transformation aspects in the strategy for reflexive institutionalization, the learning networks, and the evaluation of co-creation teaching. That was more linked also to the connector. And on the bottom, you see also that we had some marketing activities in the outreach and also dissemination work packages. And these work packages were very closely working with EuroTeQ as well. Then let's continue with our presentation. Our work packages, just a small recap. So I just showed you the 2 packages dealing with the individual and professional education. So on the left side, you saw the EuroTeQ Learning Professional as the first work packages, and the objective was to develop a concept for training learning professionals at universities, and to develop learning professionals as key actors that transfer latest research results from the universities into practice, and facilitate a smoother circulation of talents between universities, industry, and other actors. On the right side, you see the upskilling strategy. And the main objectives were to develop an upskilling strategy for upskilling the professional engineers in Europe, to implement involved institutions as constant companions in the lifelong learning journey of engineers, and increase the general level of qualification of engineers in Europe. And we will dive deep in that later in our working sessions, but for now, just a quick summary. And I will hand over now to my other colleagues with the next work packages. No, one slide more, sorry. And afterwards, we will hand over. So the work package of the learning professional actually and the upskilling strategy project now are complete. And as you might see, we got many deliverables which were produced in the last 3 years. First, there was like an analysis. We worked out on some framework and concept. And then we had also workshops hosted in TUM. And then we had some pilot activities for the learning professional development. Same for the upskilling strategy. Also there, we started to look on the market, on needs and demands of our target group. And then we worked out a concept, developed a program, and we executed this seminar at TUM. And we also made some decent impact, but we'll touch that later in our working sessions. And now we will hand over to work package 4, which is reflexive institutionalization or co-creation.
Okay, so what we did in this work package, as I said, stated from the beginning, was to conduct a comparative study investigating what the universities have done to claim to be doing more responsibility in them. We promised to develop one major publication, aka the Co-Creation Manifesto, and some policy briefs to put it into clearer terms, and work towards major publications. So we were the research and like the more qualitative research part of the project. And I think that, can you go to the next slide, Patrick? Okay, I think I have the control. So the status is that we finished conducting a SWOT analysis. We focused there on, well, we listed the responsibilization as sustainability, because all the universities are doing it, bringing in interdisciplinarity or establishing structures to facilitate interdisciplinary work, connecting social sciences and humanities to engineering education, and engagement with society at the level of the universities. We produced some papers, we submitted some papers, we have some papers accepted, some still under development. We carried out different rounds of drafting of the Co-Creation Manifesto. We got input from the broader community of EuroTeQ, and that's where we were. And just to mention something little about the impacts. Next slide. So we collected some interesting comparative insights of all the universities. We submitted papers. We disseminated some of the results directly with the TUM's sustainability office. We integrated the feedback that we collected for the manifesto, for like the final version, a bit of one of the semi-final versions that we have at the moment. And we supervised 2 master theses on topics related to responsibility at TUM. One was focused on AI and one was focused on the rocketry student society at TUM. Really interesting work there by our students. Let's go to the next slide for work package 5.
In work package 5, we were mostly interested in the co-creation instruments. And if that doesn't tell you much, then I have to tell you what exactly we tried to understand with this concept. We focused on 2 things. One were those co-creation institutions with our co-creation spaces, maker spaces within our universities. And we realized that in Eindhoven, we have Innovation Space, MacTrade, TileTech, Skylab at D2, and so on. And we started to compare these and how they learn from each other and how they see their role within the university and in co-creating with external stakeholders. And the other bit was the Collider you all know what the Collider is. The Collider is one of the flagship projects of the EuroTeQ project, setting up a challenge-based learning co-creation course across the EuroTeQ universities. And we followed the first trajectory in implementing that. And we studied particularly how the different universities work together and learn from each other. And we use this to conceptualize the role of universities and university alliances in society in a research publication. We also did some workshops. We organized workshops on the Collider at the individual universities, and we also had some cross-university workshops where we thought about what can the Collider be, how can we continue thinking about its role in building an alliance and in rethinking the role of the university in society. There is also another publication that I should just quickly mention. It deals with academic entrepreneurship. Academic entrepreneurship is the idea that universities, academics are actively involved in introducing new technologies, new products, new things into the market and society. And that is a co-creation activity that has received the most critical attention in the literature. And we wrote a conceptual paper where we tried to understand the role of universities, or what the proper role of the university in such activity is, in order to draw a boundary to the more problematic versions of it. You can find these publications on our on the BoostEuroTeQ website. Over to work package 6.
Yes, hello everyone. I hope you can hear me clearly. A huge thunderstorm just started around DTU, so it's a very dramatic. But I will focus now and explain you a little bit about work package 6. So it was focused on evaluating co-creation teaching across the EuroTeQ universities. The objective was to identify the benefits and the challenges in co-creation teaching from various perspectives. So I interviewed teachers, students, stakeholders. We talked with the pedagogical units and also some research managers. So we tried to get like as broad as a perspective as possible. To identify how collaboration between teachers and external stakeholders can be supported and improved. And here a crucial objective was to develop a roadmap for upscaling of co-creation teaching in all universities. So the status is we engaged with the relevant internal and external stakeholders to collect benefits and challenges. And I think, yeah, some of you have also been part of this journey. So thank you again for your time. We did a broad scale analysis of the status quo of co-creation teaching at the EuroTeQ universities. There was a report last year on the status quo, on the indicators of co-creation teaching. We identified country and institution-specific characteristics that support and hinder co-creation, because co-creation is like one big idea, but it's acted out very differently everywhere. And we developed a 7-step roadmap to successful co-creation teaching. And on the next slide, I will tell you a little bit about the impact. So actually, to my knowledge, it was the first European cross-national comparison on European technical education to see where we are with co-creation teaching. This has been done in other areas a lot, but not on engineering education. So we hope this can really work as a reference frame for everyone who wants to increase and support participatory methods in engineering education. We also demonstrated how co-creation adds a unique focus on participatory technology development. We saw that other pedagogical philosophies have other focuses, or maybe a little bit more on the individual side, and participatory co-creation is really unique in the way how it envisions technology and society working together. And we linked the best practice from co-creation, from academic literature, to the status quo. So there's this idea about what do we need to consider about co-creation. what is the best practice, and also which good things are happening here on our different sites. And then we saw what could be developed. And we delivered tangible advice, which is and can be and hopefully will be implemented across EuroTeQ co-creation initiatives a little bit more in the future. So here, the one of the main tangible outcomes was the co-creation roadmap that I will also talk a little bit more in the workshop in the next session. So kind of 7 things to consider when talking about co-creation. And another impact that is still work in progress is a paper that I'm currently writing with Monami Bada-Haynes from Virginia Tech, who was here previously, and we're comparing how specifically 3 universities, so Caltech, DTU, and TUM, how they have a different, so we're comparing how the different, universities basically have a different pedagogical history and different setup to picture co-creation differently.